It may have been over 200 plus long days, over 6 plus long months, and everybody was riled up, fired up, getting in packs of angry wolves and angry mobs, getting their pitchforks sharpening up, got their torches all ready to walk up to Nintendo's headquarters and to demand that Nintendo Direct from them. But on this fateful day, on March the 26th, on that Thursday morning, Nintendo finally dropped out their Nintendo Direct Mini, that is. They dropped out a Nintendo Direct Mini, and I was like, oh shoot. Hello everybody, MegaZardX here. I'm back at it again to give y'all another exciting video, and this time I'm going to be discussing the Nintendo Direct that dropped around last week on that March the 26th, and it was a mini Direct out of all things. And gosh darn, you know what, Nintendo are definitely the kings of the left field, because man, everybody was sort of kind of expecting there to be a Direct, because you know this was like a prophesized Direct, because somebody called out the dates for what would have been sort of kind of like the Nindies World Showcase, and then turn around and have the regular Direct this week on the Thursday. And I honestly didn't think it was going to be happening after Wednesday went by without no announcement. And out of all things, they dropped the mini Direct, and we know with mini Directs, when they drop these suckers, yeah, they can just drop them flat out. And I literally remember rolling over on my bed. It might have been like 9:02, 9:03. I looked down at my phone, I pulled down my notification bar and saw a Nintendo Direct was happening. I was like, oh shoot. So normally I would have done like a reaction for this though, but since it's a Direct Mini, you know, spoilers kind of gonna go up anywhere. Yeah, I have to go ahead and watch that though. So sorry y'all weren't able to kind of catch my reactions though. But the most thing I probably highly reacted to was probably the first thing to showcase off in this Direct though. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and talk about this Direct though. But before I get too far into it though, we do have to talk about that one little notification that they dropped out at the very beginning of the Direct, where it talked about, you know, there was a little notification there and it said, hey, you know what, you know, our hearts are out to all of those people that are being affected with the COVID-19 going around and affecting the world as it's being known as a global pandemic though. So all of the release dates that are pointed out in this Nintendo Direct Mini, you know, take that with a little bit of grain of salt, because that's a scheduled release date. But you know, in all actuality, you know, we don't know whether or not they're going to be able to stick to those listed dates. So we just got to keep all of that in mind though. So you know, they might have a targeted, you know, date of releasing on May 29th, but it may not happen though. But you know, just keep up to date with all the different software developers, as well as Nintendo themselves on their, you know, their social media outlets or whatever though. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and talk about the first topic though. So the very first thing they talked about was Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. And man, you know, a lot of people have been freaking out about this though, myself included. Man, that first raw reaction that I saw back in the fall Direct, man, oh man. And you know, it's been heavily rumored that it was going to be dropping out in May, but yes, it is coming May the 29th. So you know, the game looked beautiful from the way that they just showed the different areas and stuff. And the matter of fact, this is a definitive edition, and we're getting some extra added content in here that was originally cut from the original game. And not only that, but one of the key takeaways from this Direct Mini was, matter of fact, that there's going to be a new epilogue episode associated with this game, and it's going to be called Future Connected. And now obviously kind of looking at some of this stuff, I'm like, you know what, I imagine they're going to somehow, in some way, sort of kind of tie it in a little bit more canon and make it a little bit more known how Xenoblade Chronicles probably ties into Xenoblade 2. That's just my little prediction right there though. But honestly, man, I'm so glad that they're adding all this extra new content in here though. But get this, that's not all, because you'll be able to play this epilogue episode from the very beginning of the game. You don't have to necessarily beat the whole entire game. You have access to it from the very get-go of the game. So for those that play Xenoblade Chronicles on the Wii and the 3DS, yeah, you can just jump straight up into this to get that new content, and then go back and, you know, enjoy the regular game or whatever though. So yeah, I'm honestly really excited for this though, and it's coming out on May the 29th. And also there is a limited edition for this game as well, and while the US version kind of sucks because we only just get the book or whatever though, you might want to keep your eyes out on the European and Japan side, where, you know, the European probably has the best version, where they got the CD, they got the steel case, they got a poster and all that good mess, the art book. I'm like, ugh. But I mean, Nintendo's been jipping North America out for quite some time, though, so I mean, it is what it is. The next thing that showed up in this Direct Mini was some 2K games are coming to the Switch, and this is in the form of the Bioshock collection, the Borderlands Legendary collection, and the XCOM 2 collection. Now, you know, with these games, especially with the Bioshock and the Borderlands collections, though, for some reason, I've been hearing about this a lot, whether or not, you know, it's going to come or not, and I heard a lot of different rumors about, you know, these games actually being able to make the jump and come to Switch, and I'm kind of glad they did. It allows, you know, people to be able to enjoy these 2K games, and, you know, a lot of people should, you know, have a whole bunch of fun with these games, though. But get this is the thing, between all three of those different collections, they all coming out on May the 29th, and I'm like, bruh, I'm like 2K, can you like space those out apart so people can actually have the funds to be able to pick all of this stuff up? I mean, shoot, it's on the same day, the same release date as Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. I'm like, I don't know who in the world came up with that idea, though, but that's really something right there, though. And the next thing they showed off was the Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 DLC, being the Shadow of Doom expansion 3-pack, and it features the Fantastic Four along with Doom. And I really don't have too much to say about this, though. It's really nice that, you know, the Marvel Ultimate Alliance, you know, it did fairly well in sales. It sold over 1 million units. And the matter of fact, they added DLC in there and stuff. It's really nice, though. I own the game. I enjoyed it quite a bit, though. But for me, you know, whenever they didn't really add too much more with story with these DLCs, it's kind of, you know, lost my interest, though. But I did have fun with it, though. But for all your Marvel fans out there that own Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 that's still looking for some new content to get, you can dive in there and get that Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 DLC stuff. And it should be available now. Now, the next thing they showed was one of the first shadow drops in the Direct, and it's called Shinnok Into the Depths. Now, I don't really have too much to say about that game, though, but, you know, looking at the game and stuff through the Direct, hey, if that's something that kind of interests you or whatever, though, make sure to check it out, though, because it's available right now, though. Now, the next biggest thing was the Animal Crossing update, and it detailed things about the Bunny Day event that's going to be lasting from April 1st to the April 10th, and you know, with this, you'll be able to collect certain eggs off of trees or whatever, though, and you'll be able to craft all of these things to make all of these sort of kind of Easter decorations, whether it be tables, chairs, etc., though. So all you got to basically do is make sure your game is updated to the newest version of the game, and then that way it'll be able to load the event information into your game, so you'll be able to enjoy the bunny event thing, though. So make sure you collect up on those eggs and craft whatever you need to, because this only lasts from April 1st to April 10th. However, they didn't mention the next event that's coming on the way, which is going to be later on in April, where they're going to be mentioning Groundhog Day. So if you want to keep up to date, because there's going to be a lot of different events that happen within Animal Crossing New Horizons, though. So if you want to keep up to date on all of that stuff, you have to make sure to follow that the Twitter account that they mentioned within the Direct itself, though, to be able to keep all up to date on all the different things that Animal Crossing that is coming along in the nearby future, though. Now, the next thing that they showcased off in the Direct was now hiring, and it was the second shadow drop that was showcased off in this game. Along with the first game that I talked about, that was another shadow drop. I don't really have too much more to say about this game, though, but honestly, you know, another game that looks, you know, fairly cool or whatever, though. If you're really interested in the game, it is available now, so you can go to the eShop right now and check that game out, though. Now, this next one, though, man, it honestly really surprised me, though, because I am surprised. Is Atlas trying to attempt to drop Nintendo Switch games out on the Switch? Like, what is this mess, though? But anyway, they decided to say, you know what, Catherine Full Body is going to be coming out to the Switch on July 7th, and it's a mature action adventure puzzler game. And Vincent is pulled into a love quadrangle between Catherine with a K, Catherine with a C, and Ren. Now, this one, I was like, what in the world? I was like, man, I was looking at that, I was like, man, how in the world does this dude manage to get with 3 different girls at the same exact time, and just kind of bouncing back and forth between all 3 of them? I was like, man, this is a sort of kind of interesting story right here, though. But honestly, I was like, man, okay, but honestly, you know, it's something, you know, it sort of kind of piqued my curiosity, kind of see, you know, exactly how in the world does this dude manages to kind of get out through it, though. Seems like a decent sort of kind of like storytelling thing with a little bit of puzzle up in there, though. But the most surprising thing about this whole entire thing is the matter of fact that Atlas is actually trying to bring a game to the Switch. They know that we've been hearing our pleas and cries out to get Persona on the Switch and everything else. The second that Joker actually managed to get into Smash, and it's just crazy. And then where in the world is Shin Megami Tensei 5 at Atlas. Like, y'all do some weird stuff. So I certainly was not expecting this within the Direct though. But just a reminder, Catherine Full Body is coming out to the Nintendo Switch on July 7th, believe it or not. The next thing that was showcased off in this Direct was a Ring Fit DLC update. And within this update, they managed to say, you know what, you're allowed to change your Ring Fit character's voice from between a male and a female now. And you also be able to change the language options for the Ring Fit's voice as well though. But most importantly, they're adding 5 new rhythm exercise songs for this DLC update, and it's ranging everything from the Mario series to Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, Splatoon 2, as well as Wii Fit, and all of this stuff is available now. So if you got Ring Fit right now and you're bored with all this quarantine and stuff, and you know what, you need to get a little bit of exercise and get that blood kind of pumping and stuff, while also having a fun little time with it as well, hey, you'll be able to download this DLC right now and have a good fun time with it though, because this listening to the small little samples of the music tracks and whatnot though from this DLC update, man, and they chose some really good tracks and some pretty good medleys along with that as well though. So just a reminder that it's available now for you to be able to download. They also managed to showcase off King's Bounty 2, which is another game coming to the Switch, and honestly, you know, if you like what you happen to see up in there, you can go ahead and check that game out as well though. But that game is coming out soon to the Nintendo Switch. I don't really have too much to say about this though, but this next topic, oh boy, because man, we're about to spring into action now though, because literally they showcased off who, or necessarily pretty much from what franchise series is the next Smash Brothers character coming from, and it's coming from ARMS. Now, literally, I really thought that the ARMS character was going to be in Smash literally within like the first DLC wave, whenever it was sort of kind of closer to relevant of, you know, ARMS releasing out in 2017, and thinking, you know what, Smash came out in 2018, so, you know, it going into 2019, maybe some of the first DLC choices would have been ARMS, or maybe it would have been in the base roster, so I was kind of shocked at that though. But now, the matter of fact, they're kind of coming back on this stuff, I'm like, wow, because literally before this Direct, they showcase off and say, you know what, there's an online tournament for ARMS. And I was like, wait, that's just completely out of random nowhere, because for the most part, it's been sort of kind of like, you know, a silent series right now though. But now they're starting to kind of pick up and promote this game more, because they even went out and said after this thing was over with though, that they said, you know what, ARMS is going to be able to get a global test punch, or not like a, well, it's similar to the global test punch, but however, for online members for the next like 2 weeks or so like that, you'll be able to download ARMS and be able to play it in its entirety, all things unlocked for that period of time though, and then you can, you know, buy it afterwards if you really like it or whatnot though. So, you know, with the coincide with the Smash Brothers character, you know what, hey, let's go ahead and promote this other series as well though. So honestly, you know, I'm kind of pretty excited that it's an ARMS character though. But this is the thing though, they showed a big old map of it, a big map of like all the different characters that are in ARMS, and say, you know what, it could be any one of these characters. So this is kind of weird in terms of introducing a new Smash Brothers character, because most of the time we just get the straight up character reveal, and they actually get to tell us or show us what character it is though. So it does kind of ruin some of the bit of surprise, like, you know, the speculation of, you know, who the character would have been from any kind of number of series, whether it be first party or third parties. But the matter of fact that they, you know, told us it's an ARMS character, that does kind of put in the minds of everybody, it kind of keeps their expectations in check though. So me personally, I really want to see my boy Ninjara in the game though, because honestly, Springman's already an assist trophy, so I felt like we kind of already got his representation though. So, you know what, I'm really crossing my fingers and hoping that it's going to be Ninjara, but in all actuality, watch it actually be Ribbon Girl out of all characters though. But Ninjara will be my pick number 1, and Kid Cobra will be my pick number 2, and then Min Min will be my pick number 3, because those were my 3 primary mains within ARMS whenever I was playing that game though. So yeah, those will be my picks though for the Smash Bros. DLC characters. Now the next thing that showcased off in this Direct was a good long look at Bravely Default 2. Now this game is supposed to be coming out in 2020 with, you know, no specified date as of, you know, which month or whatever though. But if I had to take a guess, this game is probably originally planned to launch probably sometime around in the fall though. But anyway, they showcased off this game and it looks pretty cool though. And you know, people were were sort of kind of confused at first because, you know, we had like a Bravely game, and then we had Bravely Default, then we had Bravely Second, and now we have Bravely Default 2. I'm like, oh, like, you know, the naming convention of all of this though. But if you played Octopath Traveler like me, I really enjoyed Octopath Traveler, and it's sort of kind of in a sort of kind of similar kind of style in terms of, you know, the way how the battles sort of kind of work though. But there's a whole lot more class options within Bravely Default 2, a lot more than Octopath Traveler was though. But it sort of kind of got a little bit of its inspiration from, you know, Octopath in some small manner of regard though, because in this, you know, new battling, or within this battling kind of system though, you use your brave points to be able to kind of go all out and try to, you know, stack up a lot of damage against your enemies though, or you can go on that default pattern and be able to kind of save up those battle points or whatever though, in order to effectively use that at a later point within the battle though. And it's just sort of kind of playing that little strategy game up in your head, whether or not you're going to use those BP points right now, or you're going to hold off and save those and revert to the default settings though. But honestly, I got to play through this a little bit though, because there is a free demo available right now that you'll be able to download from the Nintendo eShop, and you'll be able to kind of try, you know, be able to test try this out. This is going to be a little bit of different side story that's a little bit different from what's going to be the main story that's going to be actually within the full game though, so you don't have to necessarily worry about, you know, exploring yourself a little bit too much, as it kind of gives you that little notice warning at the very beginning of the very beginning of the demo though. But honestly, I've been enjoying what I've been playing so far though. I need to get back at it and keep playing it though. But honestly, you know what, the demo is looking pretty good and pretty solid right now though. So if you want to try that out, hey, there's a demo available, and they will take up suggestions and offers from a little survey they're going to send out to people at a later given date though. So make sure to keep your eyes out on this game whenever it drops out sometime this year in 2020. Now, the next thing they showcased off in this thing was InchAla, which I don't have too much to say about this though, but this game will be coming out on May the 27th, all, you know, fairly close and kind of crowded along with all those other May 29th games though. But this will be a free-to-play game, and honestly, I feel like I'm gonna probably have some fun online with my buddies though, as you know, it's sort of kind of like a weird kind of wacky kind of game that you can kind of go through and play though. And then for the rest of these games, they sort of kind of showcase them off, you know, some sort of kind of fairly little quick, and sort of kind of some of the other ones within highlight reels, because we got to see a little showcase of Star Wars Jedi Knight. We also got to see Panzer Dragoon, which actually dropped on that day, so you'll be able to play it right now. And then they also showcased off Trials of Mana. Quick reminder to everybody, that game comes out on April the 24th. Already got that game preloaded, downloaded, ready to go though. So hey, don't get caught sleeping on that game though, because that game looks good. Also, there's a demo out on the eShop right now. Try it out. Your game progression carries over to the full game though. No reason to try out that game though. Then there's Fuse. They showcase off Elder Scroll Blade, which I'm like, what the heck happened with that? Because they showed that at last year's E3, and I don't know why in the world it's taking them that long. They got Vigor, Burnout Paradise, Saints Row 4, The Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel 3, Dr. Driller, Drill Land, as well as Minecraft Dungeons. They just kind of went through a highlight reel and showcased off all of those and their targeted launch date for all of those different games though. And then basically at the very end, we were supposed to get that one more thing that's supposed to excite us and say, you know what, hey, you're gonna end this mini direct off with a bang, something new that we hadn't even seen before. And then they revealed that yes, it's a Pokemon Sword and Shield DLC Part 1 quick little update. And I was like, what? But honestly, with this, they didn't showcase off too much. They didn't really showcase off anything that was like extremely new within this whole entire thing. The most, you know, the most like new thing they probably showcased off in this, as a matter of fact, Cub Food will be like your one partner that you're pretty much going to go throughout this whole entire DLC with. And you have the option to be able to bring it to either Tower of Darkness or the Towers of Water. And based upon which tower you bring it to in training, because you can only do one, it determines whether or not it's going to evolve into one form or the other. And then also they managed to let you know that, hey, you know, after you're done with this DLC Part 1, hey, your starter is going to be able to Gigantamax form into one of those three, whether or not you have the Fire, Water, or the Grass starter. That's pretty much it. They gave some updates for some quick little updates for what's going to be updated in the wild area as well though. But honestly, you know what, that it wasn't like, you know, the strongest end to a direct ever. Like, I felt like they definitely started off better than what they did at the end though. But honestly, if you go back through and look at all the rest of the stuff in the direct, I don't really think that you really could put any of these other things and reshuffle the order in order to basically end on a stronger note. You could have ended off on Smash, but the matter of fact, they didn't show exactly what character it was going to be from Smash. Besides the fact of the matter that it's just coming from the ARM series, even then it was sort of kind of like, eh. So I'm like, okay then. But that's pretty much it in terms of, you know, all the different kind of reveals that we got within this Nintendo Direct Mini. So overall, if I had to rate this Direct, I definitely had to give it, maybe it's like a B minus, because this Direct definitely said something right here though. The matter of fact is, you better love third-party games, because first-party games are going to be slow, because we just recently got Animal Crossing New Horizons in March, and you know that was actually a pretty fun game or whatever though. But the next new Nintendo IP that we have is, you know, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. That's supposed to be out on May the 29th. Anything beyond that, we don't really know any other Nintendo IPs that are coming out to the Switch though. So we're going to be patient though. But if the rumors kind of going around of how, you know, the second half of 2020 could go in terms of a certain, you know, Nintendo icon legend mascot, then yes, we might be in for a crazy end half for the year of 2020 though. But all thoughts aside, for right now though, we're just gonna sort of kind of have to chill with the games that we already got, kind of go through the backlog while we might be quarantined or whatever though, within our houses or whatever though. A lot of games that are already out on the Switch, really good games that you should go back in, invest in, and play though. But honestly, overall, it was a fun Direct, man. It took so long for them to be able to give us this Direct though, but I'm finally glad we were able to have a little bit more information and stuff of things that are supposed to be coming on to the nearby horizon, roughly all the way up until like the original E3 time that we were supposed to have E3 in June though. But that's pretty much it in terms of this discussion though. But let me know what all you thought about this Nintendo Direct down in the comment section down below though. Did you think it was really good, really solid though, or were you kind of walking out of there sort of kind of slightly disappointed because, you know, the Nintendo IPs didn't really show up at this Direct or whatever though? But yeah, let me know what all you thought about down in the comment section down below though. But that's pretty much it in terms of this discussion for the Nintendo Direct Mini y'all. So remember y'all, until whatever video I make next, see y'all.